20 tactics, explained one move at a time. See how many you can spot before I do. Black to play. What's the move? That's checkmate. Job done. Black to move. Can you spot it? We invest the bishop for the pawn. A sacrifice, not a slip. That's a discovered attack. Our rook now hits theirs. Check. White takes the bait. That's what the bishop bought. We win the rook, and our pawn is still under attack. This move leaves it there. That leaves us ahead on material. Your move. What's best for white here? Checkmate. That's the game. Black to play. What would you play? We fork the king and the queen. Check. The king must move, so we win the queen. So the queen comes off, just as promised. That leaves us a queen up, and the position is winning. Black to play. What's the move? We check the king, and that forces mate in 1. Forced, the only move. Checkmate. The pawn walks right in, backed up by the king. Black to move. Can you spot it? We throw the rook in with check, and that's a discovered attack. Our queen now hits theirs. White grabs the rook, the offer accepted. Now we collect the queen for the price of the rook. That leaves us ahead on material. Your move. What's best for black here? Two targets at once. The king and the rook are forked. Check. The king has to step away, and the rook is ours. And we help ourselves to the rook. That leaves us ahead on material, and the position is winning. Black to play. What would you play? A royal fork. Check on the king, and the queen can't be saved. That's a discovered attack. Our queen now hits theirs. White takes the knight, just as we hoped. That's what the knight bought. We win the queen. Check. That leaves us a queen for a rook up. Black to play. What's the move? We give up the rook on purpose. It forces checkmate in 1. White takes the bait. Checkmate. The rook walks right in, backed up by the bishop. White to move. Can you spot it? Checkmate. Black is done. Your move. What's best for black here? Checkmate. We finish it off. White to play. What would you play? Double check. The king is forced to move. It was also the only piece guarding the queen, which can't be saved now. The king takes the bishop, but the queen is still lost. And there it is. We collect the queen. Check. That leaves us ahead on material, and the position is winning. White to play. What's the move? That's a skewer. Check, and the rook sits behind the king on the same line. The king steps away. The rook can't come with it. So the rook comes off, just as promised, and our knight is still under attack. This move leaves it there. That leaves us ahead on material. White to move, can you spot it? We take the pawn, and that forces checkmate in 1. Checkmate, the queen walks right in, backed up by the rook. Your move, what's best for black here? We take the knight, and that forces checkmate in 1. Forced, the only move. Checkmate, the rook walks right in, backed up by the bishop. Black to play. What would you play? We offer the bishop with check. The king can't take it and go on guarding the rook. White grabs the bishop, the offer accepted. We take the rook back, material is level again. White grabs our pawn. We check the king. That's the tactic. White to play, what's the move? We let the rook go with check. The queen can't take it and go on guarding their own rook. Black takes the rook, just as we hoped. We check the king. Black goes after our queen. We take the rook back, material is level again. That's the tactic. White to move, can you spot it? We offer the knight. Black can take it, and that's the point. Check. Black takes the bait. A skewer. We check the king, and the queen is lined up right behind it. The king has to move, and the queen is left behind. And we help ourselves to the queen. That leaves us ahead on material, and the position is winning. Your move, what's best for black here? The pawn stands one step from queening, and white can still contest that square. That's the tactic. White to play. What would you play? The rook steps in where it can be won. That's a deliberate sacrifice. Check. Black takes the rook, just as we hoped. We check the king. We recover the knight. Check. A royal fork. Check on the king, and the rook can't be saved. The king has to move, and the rook is left behind. And we help ourselves to the rook. That leaves us ahead on material. Every one of those was explained by the same engine that reviews your games in ChessImprover.